a storm. We were in a field of wildflowers, on our way back from a battle with the spirit of the mountain we were walking on. It couldn't have been more beautiful as we walked hand in hand, basking in the victory of the glory of life. For we felt it had been returned to us with the passing of the storm in the middle of the night, and the realization of the truth we now held within us. We walked with the confidence and security of those who are at peace with themselves and the world around them, secure in their ability to deal with whatever might come their way. We walked through the blooms of multicolored flowers and observed the wreckage of the night past. From the ridge above and behind us to the canyon in front of and below were signs of the epic struggle that occurred there so recently. And as we were once again in exaltation of our good fortune, I noticed out of the corner of my eye a movement in the grove of aspen. Like a magical shimmering of light and air that coalesced into the proud white head of a great stallion. We stopped and watched as the stallion emerged from the trees and moved directly towards us. We were surprised again to see even more horses coming out of the trees. 10, 20, 40, 80 some horses came out and formed into a triangle behind the great stallion who continued his confident march toward us. And in a classic military phalanx, they moved as one into a trot. And I looked at her, and she looked at me, and we smiled, but there was no joy there. Just a rising fear I saw reflecting in her huge green eyes. "What's this?" she says. "It's not over, is it?" "I don't think so," I say, as the horses surge into a canter and they are 200 yards away and the ground has begun to shake. Her grip on my hand tightens and she moves to run, but I know we would never make it out of the way in time. And she tries to run again, but I won't move. And she tries to pull her hand away, but I won't let it go. "We have to stay right here," I whisper yell to her as 80 plus horses kick into a full gallop. They are 100 yards away and charging. Alarm bells are ringing in my head, and suddenly everything goes into slow motion. And I find myself removed from the scene and looking down on it from above. And standing next to me is the great stallion who I now know to be Mountain. And we watch as the arrow shape of horses slowly moves toward the two small dots. And it is then that he looks at me, and I am lost in his eyes. They are black holes of a power that is beyond me. They are the river Styx, and my life is the boat, and I float into mountain consumed. And in the darkness, the river flows to the sound of his voice. And he says, "Now you see with new eyes what the old eyes couldn't see. Now you hear with new ears what the old ears couldn't hear. Now you think a new thought that the old mind couldn't think. Now you live a new life that the old mind couldn't live." And the river flowed to a light. And as the light got brighter, It overwhelmed me and I had to close my eyes. And when I opened them again, I was back on the field of wildflowers and she was still there standing next to me. And the horses were 20 yards away. At 10 yards from impact, Mountain made a hard turn and headed for the ridge. All the horses followed. At the crest, he stopped and watched as they all filed past. And when the last one disappeared, he turned and looked directly at us and raised up on his hind legs and fired off a big